this week. How did you do? Was it good?
Yeah.
Was it happy and good? Richard, I got thumbs up from Richard. So when I get that from Richard, that means the rest of the week is going to be fabulous. That's my boy. Huh?
It was good to Sunday.
It was good till Sunday. All right, what's past is gone. We got today, right? No, it's raining like the dickens, but all right. How about the rest of you? You had a good week?
Dave went to, we called an ambulance for him.
What'd you do, Dave?
Just what every Parkinson patient does from time to time. I fell down.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't fall.
He felt like he was gonna pass out.
Mm-hmm.
That was the time before.
Oh, the time before. I hate falls. I truly hate falls. You know, I know how hard you try not to fall, but you know, between stumbling, getting weak, freezing, and then sometimes with the blood pressure dropping down, you feel faint, and because you don't have quite the dexterity that some other folks have, you can't really break the fall, you know, like some other folks that don't have Parkinson's. Please remember when you fall to really, really be proactive and see a doctor. I'm really an advocate about it, particularly if you do hit your head. You know, if you go down and hit your head and say, oh, it's nothing, you know, but, you know, if you hit the wall or if you hit the sink or the tub or anything like that, please listen to me, and it's well worth to go in and have a film done to make sure that you're okay, okay? Because situations like this, you can be fine today and just have a little mini bleed along the way, and then in a couple weeks, you can be very sick. You understand me? So it's well worth to call the doc or to zip into the I say zip into the emergency room. Nobody zips in and zips out. Or if you're fortunate enough to see your primary care doc, really do follow up with the falls, right? But you got a little dizzy?
Kind of like that.
Okay. All right. How many of you are falling? Falling, okay. Falling is big with Parkinson's disease. We all know that. Your balance is off. Your strength is off. Your center of gravity is off. Your coordination is off, so you can't break the fall. If you're in a freeze, you're going down, and there's nothing going to stop you. Okay. So we want to do everything we can to help you with the fall. Yeah.
Marilyn, I had a fall this summer. I fell off a bar stool.
Uh-oh. What bar were you in, mister?
I promise I wasn't drinking, but I just blacked out, fell off, and hit concrete. And came to right away, but I was damaged. And
Not somebody
took me to the hospital and checked me out.
Almost coconut sound.
Oh, okay.
Atrial fibrillation.
So it was a cardiac event.
So I had a pacemaker.
Pacemaker put in.
So,
Yeah, your pulse dropped down. Okay. See, that's the other thing. Don't blame everything on Parkinson's and your functional limitations. You know, a cardiac event, something like this, and this is the other thing too, if you don't get into the doc and realize what caused the fall, you know, thank goodness you were proactive and went in and got fixed, right? Stay off the bar stool, will you?
Okay.
That's the other thing I was thinking about. Be sensible then, you know. I want you in, and when we purchased these chairs, actually, for Parkinson Place, before I had, how many we got of them? Almost 1,400 of you and my members. My big thing was, how do I keep them clean? That was my big thing when I talked to the designer. I have to be able to wipe and to clean, because I'm a clean freak for you people, and it's who I am, you know, that everything gets wiped down every single night by Terrell. But I should have done better with the arms that came out all the way. Do you know what I'm saying? But then again, you wouldn't be able to dance and to do your exercises. But I'm going to encourage you, when you're in your home, to, even if you have to go out and purchase a new dining room chair or kitchen chair or comfort chair, you want a 4-point chair, you know what I'm saying, with a wide base, okay? And you want to have the arms that are going to help you in and out. Do not get yourself into a chair that you will never get out of. And they're out there. You know what I'm saying? You know, I remember remember the Colony over on Longboat Cay? I kid you not, I got in the sofa over there. It was years ago. It was in the mid-90s, and I literally couldn't get out. I was like a pig on ice, you know. My legs were going. I was down. I couldn't get up. There was nothing. I think I called the concierge, and I said, "Get over here, honey. I am." And I couldn't do it ladylike, and I was in a skirt and everything. It was not pretty. But really realize in your home that, you know, that you want to have chairs that you're in and out of safely, that are comfortable for you with a good back support. You know what I'm saying? That that you can go like this and push and ease yourself down when you're trying to go from sit to stand like Toya teaches you. The other thing too, I was thinking when Dave was talking. Don't have too much furniture in your house. Did you hear me? I went into a home a number of years ago in Forest Lakes. You know where that is? Right off the Neighbor Road. And I'm thin, but there were times I had to turn sideways, you know, to get through. And the lovely Parkinson patient was in an electric thing, and he could only go so far into his home. Do you see what I'm saying? He was limited because there was so much CRAP in that house that was just stuff. But you want really to set up your home so it flows, because you already have an emotional block, you know what I'm saying, of the difficulty of getting from point A to point B. Am I right? Am I going to make it? Am I going to get tired? Is my wheelchair going to fit? Is my walker going to fit? Blah, blah, blah. What do I do if I get tired between point A and B? But that clutter and that obstacle course is going to impede you even more when it's time to become mobile in your house. So get rid of a lot of stuff that you don't need. Does that make sense to you? And have a room that moves, that you can move. So for days like this, you're still able to walk in the home and get around safely, okay? So, getting back to Dick, do most of you have your homes pretty much safety checked? Yeah, this is absolutely a must for you. And don't say you're going to move it later. I want one of those. You know, there's one of those foam rugs, you know, for where you put in front of the stove or the sink. Not that I stand there that long, but I thought, well, you know. Everybody else has one, I'll get one too. You know, that nice thick foam and everything, and it was really good and everything. That thing slipped and slid all over my kitchen. It was down for about 4 hours. And I don't have Parkinson's. It looked awful cute. You know, it felt good, cushy, but one step and it slid. You know, so that's cool. It was $14 too. You know? So I don't believe in throw rugs. You know, if you want to risk it and do the tape job, have whatever. But two-way tape doesn't work in my life, all right, and it's not worth the risk, so get rid of them. Also with your lighting, there's two things. Bye, Will, bye. See you later. Stay dry. Don't forget with your lighting, because we always talk about the REM sleep disorder that many Parkinson patients have, that once you're awake, you can't get back to sleep again, right? And all of the docs talk about how your sleep can be even more impaired with bright lights. So they talk about, you know, no bright bold lights in the night, but then again you need your night light, all right? So it's a happy medium. You need a night light. Do not move unless you can see where you are stepping. Are you clear with me? And I don't mean get out of bed and there's the night light and I'm going to take 20 steps and by the time I need to use the toilet, I'm going to have that light on. It's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a 4-watt bulb appropriately positioned around your home that you can see. Do not move if you cannot see. You agree with me?
Yes.
All right, and nothing but nothing on the floor. Nothing. No shoes, no slippers, no flip-flops. Dogs, as much as you love them, are dangerous if you don't know where they are. You understand me? And he talks about little dogs. I fell over my black lab one day.
Oh.
It was the night, And the dog was twice as big as me.
Still
Dog's
alive,
dead
okay.
now, my last dog, the dog dead story. Alright, and the dog was where the dog didn't belong, between my bedroom and the bathroom, which he never was. And I fell and I hit my head on a side thing. But truth be told, the dog saved my life because I fell on the dog, but it didn't have a nightlight on. You hear? So please be careful. And if you have your little dogs that I know you love, make sure you know where that dog is before you move around. How many of you have little dogs that you love? I know you do. And they're wonderful therapy dogs. I know them.
Did you hurt the dog?
I don't know. I didn't ask him. I hurt me.
She
But you
heard,
know, huh?
she heard it say, klutz.
And then there's this big bang, you know, I mean, you know, and I've never fallen, other than once I tried to ice skate, only once, in Connecticut, and I embarrassed myself then as well, and I never did that again. I'm not going to tell you that story. But I still remember that feeling of falling. It's terrible, isn't it? When you're going down, you know you're going down, you know.
Lost control, yeah.
It's a loss of control. I remembered I hated that. But no, the dog was fine. The dog lived another 6 years, you know. Well, the dog lived to be 130.
I was trying to figure out a way I could go to the beach,
Mm-hmm.
but my husband can't figure it out unless we have, you know, a couple of people. Because falling or having to pull me out of the water because it's too deep
Mm-hmm.
in certain spots. I mean, it's just.
Yeah, I know the beach is really therapeutic, isn't it?
I would
You
really
know?
love to go, but I don't know how to engineer it.
Wheelchair.
Yeah, they have those things that are, what do they call back, the PVCs. I've seen them for
Big
the
balloon tires.
big things. You know, I've seen them along the way that they use for disabled children, and they work great. They go right into the water, and they're safe, and they can swim and everything, and they stay in a chair. But number one, walking in sand is very difficult.
Yeah.
All right. Getting out of the beach chair gracefully, that ain't so great either.
Well, I don't care if I'm so graceful about it, but just so I can get out, you know.
Yeah, and so I don't know, and then the other thing too is, truth be told, Siesta Key I think is very nice the way that it's graded easily. South Lido, it kind of goes off, you know. So you have to work that out. I'm not going to tell you, but if you love the beach and the serenity of the balmy breezes and the beautiful sunsets, go sit in the pavilion. You know, find a happy medium, because it's going to be Bob or somebody going to have to do that. You understand that? And so weigh it out. Weigh the difficulties and weigh the dangers of it before you make a decision like that. All right? There's wonderful pools that are safe for you. I'd rather see you in a pool. Because the other thing too is if you start flapping around, you know, and lose your strength, you're going to go down. Understand? So water is a safety risk for you as well. So it's all about common sense. You know, what's best for me? What can my caregiver handle with me? Don't give them more than they need, all right? Now, the talk topic today is how to ask for help. And then I put on this little tagline, a new feat for some. Am I right? A new feat for some. Because a lot of people don't like to ask for help. They don't like to ask for help. So we're going to look at it from both the Parkinsonian's eyes and also through the eyes of the caregiver. All right? Now what happens as Parkinson's disease progresses with your ability, with your physical abilities? Do you see a decline? Do you see more difficulty doing the basics in life? Am I right? Like what? Like, yeah, you're weaker, right? You're weaker, right? Your
Balance gets worse.
Your balance gets worse, right? What else? Your gait gets worse, right? Your dexterity, okay, the dexterity in your fingers, all right? So that you're finding, oh, some of the things that I've been doing so easily, even since I was a child, now are becoming very, very difficult for me. With just cause. Always remember that I try to help you to realize why certain things are happening to you, all right? You're having trouble with the buttons and the laces. Why? Because of weak muscles, rigid muscles. The tremor can really get in the way, right? You're trying to button a little button, and it can really get in the way. You know, I got that blouse on. Did I tell you that last week? You know that one purple blouse I have? Well, I decided I was going to wear it. And it was last Thursday. I was supposed to do a talk show with SNN. And so I looked at that blouse and I said, I'm putting you on. And it's got 15 buttons, the sizes of Weensy, right down the front. I pulled it out, and this is it. This day I'm wearing it. Because I have 5 minutes extra, and I figured I was going to need at least 10 to do this stupid blouse. But in my head, I had to do it. And you know, it was a huge reminder for me, because I did 3 buttons and I wanted to take it off. I'd throw it away. It's been close to the trash can numerous times now, but I really like the blouse. But it reminded me what it must be like for my Parkinson patients.
You know what would work with blouse? Button all except the top few and slide.
I know, but it's stretched and I can't get it over my head and I hang myself in it. There is no way to get in it, you know? And it's long sleeve. I gotta do it this way and this way. But thank you. It reminds me with these buttons, the challenge that it must be for you folks to continue to try with such difficulty. And then I was so excited when I got the blouse on that I just, you know, put a feather in my cap because I didn't quit. All right? I didn't quit. Now I could have gone to my granddaughter and said, do me a favor, button my blouse, you know? But I didn't. So things that you did so simply for so many years become so difficult, but you have to get them done. The activities of daily living, you know, the bathing and the grooming and the dressing, cooking, all those special things that you need to go through the day. Many times now, for the Parkinson patient, is difficult. And what do you have to do? You have to say, can you help me, please? I'm doing my best over here, but I'm not having a good day. And can you give me a hand? How does that make you feel? How does asking for help make you feel?
It's demeaning.
It's demeaning, says Miss Joyce. What did you say, Richard?
That low.
That low?
Yeah.
Okay. That low. And I don't want, you know, we talked about esteem and confidence, I think, last week. All right. I don't want you to feel that low because your physical being, your physical function won't allow you to do something. It has nothing to do with your motivation and or your incentive or your goal to do it. Do you understand me? If your body won't allow you to do it that day, this has nothing to do with how you should be feeling about yourself. And I know it's easy for me to say because we've been groomed and pushed our whole life to be independent and to be capable and to be successful, right? And to do it, and to do it well, and to do it on your own. It's driven into us since the time we were children. So now when you're a capable, dignified adult that has to go to somebody and say, you know what, will you cut my meat for me? You know, I'm stiff today, or, you know, can you do my buttons? I'm having trouble, all right? Don't let it make you feel low and don't let it demean you because it has nothing to do with what makes you extraordinary, all right? You hear me with that? Your body won't let you do it because of the Parkinson's disease. It's not that your mind doesn't have a head full of good intentions. Are we clear of that?
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
I heard it best described from David as becoming humble
Yeah,
as soon as possible.
yeah. And that's a good word. It's my favorite word.
Not low, but humble.
Humble. You know, it's humble is just gracious for what you have and willing to accept the way that it is and to willfully accept it. I am humble. This is who I am. This is the way I'm supposed to be. You know, I always say to you, today is exactly as it should be. Right? And just be humble with the fact of, you know, I accept it. This is my Parkinson's. This is not me being lazy or wanting maid service from my caregiver. It's not a bit about that. Right? So you caregivers, please remember, too, because you've heard from Richard and from Joyce that it is demeaning, it does make them feel this big. So that the way that you respond to the request for help or assistance needs to be done in the correct way. And what do I mean by that? What do I mean by that? I always go back with when I try to help. You okay, Alan?
You're right.
See you later. Okay. Bye, Sue. Okay, bye-bye. See you next time. Say hi to Barbara.
Yes.
Okie dokie. Blame the chair. Don't chair.
To the left, Alan, to the left.
Here was your dance partner. Okay.
I tell people the last thing I need, or the best,
All right.
I don't know what my mind is on the ball right now, is acceptance. And the hardest thing I had to learn was to say yes. When somebody says, can I help you do this?
Oh,
Can I help you do that?
that's right. That's
If I
right.
don't, then I'm causing myself grief.
Right, right. Don't be too proud. You know, that word pride is very bad, you know. I'd rather be humble than proud. But realizing that the ability to accept this is who I am today. These are my limitations. Maybe I'll be better tomorrow than I am today. But today, if my friend says to me, can I help you today? And be humble enough to say, yeah, I need help today. All right? But be very careful, because you know what we try to do as caregivers and as loved ones. We want to promote the Parkinson patient to do as much as possible for themselves. We want to give them the opportunity to succeed at dressing or cooking or baking or doing what they love to do. Right? So you can't take over and just assume that if you do it, it's better or makes it easier for them. You want to encourage them, you know, and because the more you do for yourself, the more under control that you feel. So a simple thing, but like the ability of dressing yourself or cooking breakfast or baking a batch of cookies is a sense of pride that you determine, right? Am I right with that? So don't jump in and just assume I'm here, I'm going to do everything. So caregivers wait to be asked for help. If you see them really stumbling, really frustrating, then you can just simply say, it looks like you're really having a tough time with that blouse today. All right? Would you like me to give you a hand with the buttons? Because then I'm giving the control to you. And Rick can say, yeah, Mark, can you give me a hand with my shirt? You see what I'm saying? The control is to him. He's asking me for help indirectly because I notice he's struggling. So don't let a Parkinson patient struggle to the point of frustration, become anxious and upset, because we want him to be calm and cool. All right? And my patients, please, if you're struggling, reach out. All right? How many of you have trouble asking for help?
I used to, but I don't anymore.
I'm glad. When did that happen?
There's nothing else you can.
That's huge for you, Richard. You know, and you know, it's a point well taken, and I say this all the time. I did a presentation last week at the Venice Chamber of Commerce. I think it was a healthcare coalition or whatever, and I always make the comment about because people will say to me, you know, what are you doing in Parkinson's disease? You know, and I hate the disease, but I love the people. You know, people, because you approach this in such a dignified, empowering way. But the one thing that I also have noticed that I've shared with you before is this disease really does impact exceptional people. People that really are accomplished in their life and good at what they do and enthusiastic about their do, whether they're a great mother or a great painter or a great businessman. Am I right?
I think so.
I don't think so. I know so. It's absolutely true. It's people that are overachievers and that really excel at what they do because they want to be the best that they can be. And this makes it even harder for you when you realize all the things I could do so well and so easily I can't do so well anymore. And that's even harder, isn't it? So just realize, you know, and the other thing too is I always try to lighten you up a little bit. It's not all Parkinson's disease. It's that beautiful aging process. Am I right?
Right.
You know, aging gracefully, aging in place. They have all these things with aging. I call it better with age. Right?
That's right.
Better with age. Every birthday I say, better with age. What's so great about growing old? Tell me.
Better than the alternative.
Better than the alternative.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. I'd rather be over the hill than under it. Right? What's so great about growing old? Answer me. What are the benefits? What are the perks?
Theoretically, you get wisdom.
Absolutely, you get wisdom. Absolutely. Every day is a life event and a learning lesson, is it not? And you folks living with Parkinson's disease, you're learning 100 times more every day than I am, just getting through life without that challenge. And wisdom is a huge thing. Don't you wish we could just give it to our kids and grandkids? Don't you think they would listen just one time? Right?
When they get our age, they'll start saying, so-and-so knew what she was talking
Yes,
about.
absolutely. You should have listened to my mother.
Unfortunately, we won't be around to hear it.
Right, right. But the other thing too is, you know, that this fall was a cardiac event. This fall was not Parkinson's disease. And you have arthritis. With arthritis, it imposes on balance and strength, center of gravity, getting yourself out of a fall. You know, I find it's amazing. Within the last 2 years, I have to be careful when I close my eyes in the shower. Now, what is that about? Do any of you be careful of that? You know when you close your eyes to rinse your hair or whatever, ladies and gentlemen? You know, do any of you feel that?
Lose your balance.
I'm not sure what I do. So now I just leave my elbow against the thing, and it gives me a point of something.
Yeah.
Orientation.
I don't know what it is. You know,
It's
it's
called
either,
grab bars.
I'm not ready for that. Leave me alone.
Grab
I saw Mr. Grabbar at a lunch, and he goes, because I had Mr. Grabbar come in here, because so many of you were having, what was it, I guess a year ago, I guess, and some of you were having trouble in the public restrooms, and I had to actually go against code, actually, because I wanted them. And I said, they're coming in here, so I had to breach my lease a little bit. But I saw Mr. Grabbar, and he said, how's everybody doing? And I said, oh, they're doing so much better, you know, with just this little pull or push or whatever, so I was happy with that. So now he wants a testimonial for his website. Do you think I should give him one? I think I will. He's a real good guy. So, but the grab bars are very, very, very important, all right? Also be careful when you lean over. When you lean over to do your lower legs and your feet or anything like that, be really careful. You can't be too careful right now. You really can't be too careful right now. Okay? I got tickled. What was he talking about with the thing in the shower so her mother knew where to stop? Well, why couldn't hear from the back? What was that?
A yellow tape
Uh-huh.
across the entry.
On the
It
side.
indicated a little
Oh, so
step.
mother knew to step over. Yeah, those little
Like when they
cues.
put the edges of steps, you know.
I got it.
Stairways.
Yeah, because always don't forget too that you've lost your depth perception. It's part of the visual problems with Parkinson's. So even though you think you might know exactly where that floor is, you might not.
Yeah, even without Parkinson, you stub your toe on it.
You stub your toe, you hit it, you know. Dumb, isn't it? Then you kick it and say, what are you doing there? But I used to have these wonderful neighbors that lived, you know, across the grove from me, and they were just wonderful. They were there for many, many years, and they drove many, many years after they should have driven. Do you know what I'm saying? Like we all jumped off the street when we saw the car come out the driveway. But one time I had to take the car in to have it fixed or something, and I said, oh, let me do that for you. And they had this in the garage, right? This thing coming down with the tennis ball.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at this tennis ball, and I'm going out and I said, I said, somebody please tell me, what does this mean? And he goes, Mar, if that tennis ball wasn't there, she'd take out the whole back wall of the garage. See? The perception.
Richie thought about that.
I thought that was too cute. Yeah, the tennis ball. And then I was relying on it, you know? Where's my tennis ball?
If it hits the windshield, you're good.
Right. So, all right, so, yeah.
I've been around showers for many, many years, and if you all have I found one that actually works. That you can stand on it, it doesn't slide away. And I won't tell you what street, if it's 14th and McDonald's.
You're talking about mats.
And the mats.
I'm talking about a mat, and I'm talking about a grab bar.
What, do you found a new mat? Because the mats can work against you, you know. They get soapy underneath and everything. They're going to slip worse than the tile. Do you have a good bath mat? Because I believe in the rubber mats.
Yeah, it's a big section comes almost.
All right, well, give us the name of that. All
I know
right.
what name it goes, 301 and 17th Street, I think. Just
Is it
south of
a-
McDonald's.
Bradenton.
Oh, in Bradenton. All right, because stuff like that you want to really know about. The other thing too, friends, is that I want to share with you, you know, don't hesitate to put yourself on a safety mobile device. Do you hear what I'm saying? You hear what I'm saying? A lot of people have this attitude that they don't want to be on a walker or in a wheelchair to mobilize, and you're so foolish. Because the key is to mobilize you, to get you out and about, to ambulate you, to keep you engaged in life safely, to keep you in the community, to get you around Target and Walmart, right, safely. So if you know in your heart that you need the safety and the security of a walker, of walking sticks, or a wheelchair for long distances, why would you not make the choice to do it? I see so many folks that I know should be on a walker, and you just can't get them to make that decision until they fall a couple times, right? All right, so don't be afraid of that. Well, I think the canes are only good for depth perception. They're not going to keep you out of a fall. They'll help you to realize where your floor is, all right? But you know what I say, most of you carry them like a purse, so we don't need to do that, okay? So, let's go back to asking for help. My caregivers, you need to understand that you cannot do everything by yourself. You cannot do everything by yourself. And as you realize that the physical and mental and emotional needs sometimes of your loved one might be enhancing or escalating because this is a progressive disease, I always tell you, if you can go on maintenance, if you can say, Marilyn, I'm doing just as well today as I did 6 months ago, that's huge, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Because this disease is creeping along, and if you're holding your end against it because you're good nutrition and healthy sleep and stress management and doing all the integrative medicine programs, then you're really truthfully way ahead of it because it's moving, right? Okay. All right, so how do you cope with the need of being dependent? How many of you feel that you have lost your sense of independence? My patients.
Yeah.
Let's be fair. Independent means you can do everything by yourself with no assistance. How many of you can do everything by yourself without assistance?
No way.
Okay. So now my caregivers, you have to understand that because your loved one is going to need your help, and that takes time out of your day and effort out of your day, right? And you need to prioritize with that and be available for them physically and emotionally to help them. Is that a feat in itself? Because if you're plugging in time during your day and energy out of your day, what's happening to the stuff that belongs in your day if you didn't have them in your day? Does that make any sense? You know what I'm saying, don't you, Cheryl? Don't you, Barry? Well, I would be doing this, and I'd have it done on time. But then again, this is very important that I have this attention on my loved one because that's the priority and they need me here now, okay? So you have to understand, my caregivers, that you can't do everything. You just you can't. And so many of you try so hard to pack 36 hours into a 24-hour day. Isn't that amazing how we try to do that? It's an exercise in futility, all right? So how do you manage that? How do you manage being available when they call for help? With a positive state of mind and with a willfulness, the joy and enthusiasm to help you when they call for help. How do you do that? Is it easy?
Can't be.
It can be.
Usually it is.
Oh, we are having a good week over there, aren't we? Oh my goodness, we get this on tape, Dusty. Woo! Occasionally it is, yeah. But you have to understand it. I want you to, number one, prioritize your life, and this is so important, isn't it? What is really important? You know, you have 24 hours in a day. Hopefully you need 8 to sleep or rest periods or whatever. And then you've got to eat, and then you've got to do just the basics of life, all right? So what do you do with the 5 hours that are left? All right? What really matters to you of how you really do spend it? What is the quality? You know? Trains, I know, we got trains. We got trains, and that's exactly right.
At 8 o'clock in the morning, I'm running trains.
But it's really important, you know, I hate to say those words, you know, like live as if you're dying. You know what I mean? That sounds kind of morbid, isn't it? Isn't that kind of morbid? But think about it.
It's the truth.
We really don't have the projection, and God alone knows this might be our last day. You know, how do you choose to spend it? You really truthfully don't. You really truthfully, you really do not. So what really matters, and I think it's important for all of us to do this exercise, what is the most precious, most important in my life? What better can I do with my waking hours, all right, that is meaningful to me, meaningful to my relationship, and is the best use of my life? Can you answer me that?
The best you can.
What is it? Because I think sometimes you can become resentful is if you want to do the things that you want to do, but you know that you can't do it today because you're on standby or you're on call, however, whatever words you use in your thinking. You need to be available, right? If and when your loved one does need your assistance. And a lot of caregivers, you know, they can become very, what word should I use?
Resentful.
I hate that word resentful. That's a very nasty word. I resent that I can't take 4 hours to go to the mall. I resent that. What does that mean?
When people tell me that they'll pray for me, I remind them that my caregiver is the one that needs prayer.
Good for you.
Because, you know, that caregiver is doing everything for me that I used to do.
Right.
And doing everything for her that she has to do.
Exactly. And that's a very humble thing for you to say. I'm proud of you. It's very, very important, my Parkinson patients, that you express a very serious, ongoing appreciation, love, respect for your caregiver. And don't feel less than your best because you can't do what you used to do, you know, with part of the responsibilities in the home, things like that. But what you can do is a constant positive affirmation and appreciation for your caregiver, because caregiving is a very, very, very difficult role. And it's way beyond the need to do the physical tasks. You know, take over the online banking, or take over is the Caribbean overhaul, the yard man show up. It's more than that. It's an emotional challenge that far surpasses everything else, because you have to understand that your loved one loves you. You ever notice that? You want to say on a good day every day?
On a good day.
They love you. How do you think it feels through the eyes of your loved one? And when I always try to teach the etiquette of patient-caregiver relationship, the bottom line is to get behind the eyes of the person that you have that relationship with, right? I always say to my caregivers, if they're driving you crazy, you know, just get behind their eyes and just take 10 minutes and realize, what's it like for them today? What's it like for them today? The day that they face again today. But the same thing for you caregiver, for your patients. I want you to understand that it is heartbreaking for someone that loves you to see you struggle with Parkinson's disease. To see you, I don't like the word declining. I hate that word too. I'm going to take that out of my vocabulary. Continuing to struggle more. Let's do that, okay? They see it. It's hurtful. Am I right? You caregivers? It hurts, doesn't it? You know, it hurts me. I'm not even married to you. Who wants to talk to you?
I find there's such a fine line too to know between when to help and when not, because he needs exercise.
Right, right. And you have to find your own way to motivate. Do you know what I'm saying? You know, sometimes we all need to be what I call nudged, you know? Or if you see somebody, you know, that you know is a little down today, or a little lack of motivation today, or the cognition's a little down today, you always come in, I always do, with the little note of humor. You know, oh, what's going on with you today? You're not looking so good here. You know, what's happening? You see what I'm saying? Break the negativity mode and flip them more into a positivity thing. Because the feeling that you can't accomplish or can't do for yourself, it's a bummer, isn't it? And nobody knows your relationship better than you. You can only take tips and tools from me, but you know, and you know when to help. And I always say motivate them, motivate them, motivate them, let them go, give them more time, set them up, make them do it, blah, blah, blah. But there are times in life, I believe, that you're just having a day that it's like enough already. And that's a day that you can just go in there and spoil if you want to. Just let me give you a hand today. You know, let's just take the day off and do whatever it takes to get through the day. Do you disagree with me? Just get through the day. There's no rules and regulations with us. And there's nothing wrong with asking, do you want me to help you, honey? You know, it looks like you're really struggling there, you know. And you've been 45 minutes cutting your chicken. I don't know. Do you want me to help you or not? Because I'm not going to reheat it. This is it. Let's see, break the ice, bring a little humor in it. Get through the, I always say, if you're in a bad moment of negativity or discouragement or decline or whatever, get out of it as fast as you can. Okay?
And then you discover that they didn't kill the chicken first.
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it's still alive.
How many ways can you eat chicken?
Yeah.
Too many.
Too many, right? Yeah, Dave.
Steve and I have had very little exercise during the last few years. But upon attending, I think 2 weeks ago, wasn't it? One of the exercises here, we've made a commitment, we haven't quite gotten started yet, is to start walking. Maybe that'll be tomorrow.
Okay, that sounds good. I'll take tomorrow. But see, you got the idea in your head, you planted it in the seed, I'm going to do it. So just focus on the good stuff and only take the good stuff with you. But reach out for help. I always say don't do anything that can easily be accomplished by someone else. All right? And with patient-caregiver relationship, some patients, you know, will say, okay, get me an aide as long as I like him or her and go have a good time. That's fine. Some Parkinson patients are not happy with that. They want to be with their loved one. That's where they want to be at this time of their life. Do you understand me? Yeah. And try to work that through. Try to be gracious if you're loved that much, right? But a lot of times in certain situations, they just want you, and you have to find a way to live your life with them, part of it. You understand what I'm saying? And if that's the case, then that's the where you're supposed to be. Do you understand me? I'm always an advocate of get up, get out, leave your loved one at home, safely at home, if they're able to be left alone safely, or bring a good friend or a private duty in there, you know, so that they're safe and well cared for and that you can get out and maintain a lifestyle. That's one of the basics of caregiving. But if it's more upsetting for you and for your loved one, then you have to work your daily schedule around that. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Okay. And the other thing I learned from a caregiver a couple weeks ago is, please understand that even though you have a lot of professionals in your life telling you what to do, right? My caregivers, my patients, we're all telling you what to do, and I'm right up there. But when push comes to shove, the final decision, the final choices, right, comes from the patient and the caregiver jointly together. Do you understand me? Don't let anybody try to take charge of your care plan or tell you what to do. All right? The whole thing is you work together, you make decisions together for as long as you can. All right? You counsel with the right people. But truth be told, you know, the care plan today and tomorrow is really in your hands, and you should really be looking at professionals like me and your physician as consultants, as helpers, as guides. That's what we try to do for you, right? Well, as we all know, that you can't cookie cut this, can you? I wish I could just say, okay, here's your manual. Wouldn't that be terrific?
Yeah.
Monday through Sunday. I could write it. But it won't work, would it? So what you do is just take basic guidelines, tips and tools and coping skills. The one thing you got to do is, because there's nothing positive and there's nothing pretty about Parkinson's, is it? What's pretty about Parkinson's disease? Take a look at the symptoms. They pretty? They're not pretty, are they? Not a bit pretty. What's positive about it?
Positive, it's gonna get worse as you go. That's about it.
You were doing so well. You are doing so well. I'm watching the clock thinking she's got 17 minutes. You're positive it's not going to get better. Well, that's a given. Anything you read about Parkinson's disease, it's chronic, progressive, degenerative, all right? Okay. Doesn't mean your life isn't going to get better.
Well, it certainly is a challenge for all of us, overachievers. It's a new overachievement kind of challenge, I think, to learn from and so forth. It's a huge challenge.
It is a huge challenge. It will absolutely. You know, if everybody's life was a cakewalk, you would never grow. You would never learn. You would never, ever, ever realize how terrific you are and what skills you have and what talent you have. It's the truth. But when life, you know, hands you a zinger, a challenge, it really helps you to realize exactly who you are. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
You get your priorities crystal clear, at least you should. All right? I know my caregiving years was many years ago, solid for 4 years, around the clock, but it made me tenfold the woman I was going into it. And I had been a nurse with a good career. But that experience made me whole, made me really, really realize where are my skills, where are my talents, where are my priorities, what really matters in how you choose to spend your life today. All right? You'll realize. And I always say everything you need for any challenge in life is inside of you. Where is it? Where is it? Hiding out your toes, as far away as it could be, right? But pull it up and use it. You've got it. And just always focus on what you have and let go of what you have gotten more. You know, so many people think about, oh, if I didn't have Parkinson's, I would have this and be doing this, and this would be different and everything. So says you, right? It's more important that you spend this time and this energy and this thought process. Say, what have I got to do? Because you're loaded with negativity. You know, if I say, how's it make you feel? You start throwing at Marilyn all the negative stuff, right? And I say to you, focus on what have you got? What do you have? What do you have today that's meaningful and wonderful and that makes your life joyful? Gives you the ability to say thank you for it. What is it?
Each other.
Each other, absolutely.
And dinner.
And dinner, okay. And trains. We're done.
He is.
He's done. And dinner. All right.
Sight,
Huh?
sight.
Your side? Your side. I kid you not. I never go over the Skyway Bridge. that I'm not in awe. There's something about that. There's something, well, I know what it is, but I won't share it with you. But actually, I will share it with you. My husband was blind the last 2 years of his life because of his brain tumor. And I had him treated at Tampa General because I couldn't get the services that I needed here in Sarasota. So I did Tampa General about 3 times a week. And he used to say to me, tell me about the sky. You know, so I would say, well, it's pink over here and it's blue and I see some purple in it. So I never go over the skyway that I don't say, thank you, God, that I can see. So see a simple thing like this? That's a humility, is it not? Can you hear me? You can hear me. Can you get up out of the chair? You guys are doing great. You got up and you're here in the rain. Eating turkey sandwiches. Right?
Right.
So everything is relative. Naomi's got 50 million grandchildren and they all got along at her birthday party, right now? Now she was so proud of it. They all got along. They didn't know each other, but they all got along. Maybe that's the reason. They didn't know each other, right? She was so joyful because they came from all over and they got a great time knowing each other for the same. So focus on, you know, what have I got? What makes me happy? Is your life whole?
Will it ever be?
I don't know.
You know, you can't really put a button on that.
I don't even know why I asked you that. That came from somewhere. I don't know where that came from. What does that mean, whole? What does the word whole mean?
Well, it's complete.
Complete, yeah.
And you know, when we thought it was complete, it really wasn't. Now that we have a chance to look back, we should just be so thankful that, you know, it's whole now.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's whole now.
Because you choose to make it whole, because you have accepted it for what it is, and you are grateful, right? Here's that word. It's not the gift, it's the grace. You hearing me? It's not the gift, it's you are grateful, you know, with your humility that you only see the good things and the good things that you have, and that makes you whole. Contentment. You know, that's a tough word. We talk about peace and balance, but what is contentment? You know, the ability to say, well, it is what it is, you know, I accept it, you know. And then when I get a little wiggy, you know, and I can't figure it out, because I like to figure it out. I like to know if I do A and B, why C is going to happen, you know. You might as well forget that, all right? But when you simply say, today is exactly as it should be, am I not right?
Good attitude.
It's exactly as it should be, so I have it. I'm going to make it wonderful. I choose to be considerate and kind as opposed to negative and nasty. But you choose. You choose to set your disposition that I'm going to promote others, I'm going to be kind, I'm going to do my best, I'm going to be giving and forgiving, you say. And that will give you a sense of contentment that you can focus on really what you should be doing today. And not all caught up with negative feelings and losses. So how do you stay positive with Parkinson's? How do you get up every day and say, well, it's raining like the dickens today, but I'm going to have a great day. How do you do it? How do you face today like you did yesterday and you will tomorrow, next week, and next year? Short of?
Just face it.
Just face it. I always say, just stand up, face, you know, look like life right in the face and love it for what it is. That's your choice. You ain't going to change it, right? Just stand up to life, and that's the other thing that's very important with Parkinson's disease or pulmonary disease or anything else. You might never stand up again. But in your mind, the ability to stand up with the confidence and the faith and the belief and the hope, all right, that I'm facing life. I'm not creeping around corners on my knees. You see what I'm saying? I have an attitude of confidence. I will face my life. I know that I have the resources and the friends and everything that I need to face this day to make it a good one. All right? That's your choice. And that's your sense of control.